What is up, guys? Digital VFX here once again, and today we are going to have the second music theory tutorial. And for those of you who follow me or watch my videos on a regular basis, you may know that it has been a very long time since I made the first music theory tutorial, but I kind of just noticed that it's been forever, so I'm continuing the series and making a second video. So leaving off where the first video was, which covered major scales and chords, this one's going to be on minor scales and chords. And so let's just jump into it. And again, I'm putting the link to this video in the description, the first one, so you can check it out beforehand. But if you don't want to go check it out, I'm going to kind of explain it. So if you need a little more explanation, go down to the first video. But starting with minor scales and chords, if you have a formula like this is how all the scales are built, depending on, well, not depending on, no matter what note you have, if you use this formula, you will come up with your minor scales. And this one is for minor, like I just mentioned. The other one, which is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, that is the formula for the major. And again, that's going to be in the first video. I covered that. But the minor formula is whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. And that is your formula for making a minor scale. And what, if you're wondering what the wholes and halves are, they're half steps or whole steps. And if you're wondering what a step is a half step is also known as a semitone, which is a note on a piano or a fret on a guitar. So if you have an octave, so let's say we have C5 here and C6 here, there's 12 semitones in an octave. So if you were to count up from C5 to C6 and every note in between, there will be 12 notes. So starting on C, because that's the easiest scale with C major having no flats and no sharps, I'm going to start on C, and I guess I can just go over the major scale real quick just to show how it's different from the minor scale. But I have C5 here, and C, like I just mentioned, is the easiest scale because C major has no flats and no sharps, which is good for a piano player because that means it's all the white keys. So if you were to play a C major scale, and so there's your C major scale, and if you were watching on FL keys right here, you can see that no black keys are being pressed. So that makes it a very easy scale to learn, and I'm going to show you the variation of a minor scale. So if you start on C, as you can see, our first note, well, not our first note, but our first step in this formula is a whole step. So you're going to go from a C to a D, and then the next step is a half step from a D to D sharp or E flat, depending on what key you're in. And I'm gonna kind of explain enharmonics, which is what that is, in a later video. But so you have C, D, and D sharp, and then our next step is a whole step followed by a whole step. So you're gonna go to an F, then to a G. So to play that from the start. And then we have a half step, which is a G sharp or A flat, again, depending on what key you're in. And then we have two more whole steps, finishing on your root note, C, but an octave up. So if you were to play that again, and there's your C minor scale. And every note has a chord associated with it, whether it's major, minor, augmented, diminished. You can form all these different chords. Those are the 4 properties of chords, and you can form them all for every single note. So I'm going to use C again as an example just because it's pretty much one of the most basic notes in music theory terms. So there's a C major chord, and what a C major chord is a root C followed by a major third followed by a minor third. And again, a major third, I explained this in the previous video, but I'll explain it again. It is 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a minor third is 3 half steps. So 1, 2, 3. So that is a major, and all you do for a minor chord is you flip the formula for chords, which is for a major, it was a major third followed by a minor third. Now you're going to flip that and you have a minor third followed by a major third. So what is that? That's your root note, and a minor third, as I just said, was 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So now you have C, D sharp, and then you go up a major third, which is 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's minor chords or keys have been used to describe kind of sad sounds, and you'd use a minor key, you know, if you want that kind of darker tone, as opposed to a major, which is happier. And if you noticed, the only difference between these two chords is you get your third and you move it down 1 half step. And so that's how you make your C minor chord. And kind of before I end this, because I want to keep this video pretty short, but I'm going to explain a little bit about minor and major thirds. The reason why it's called a minor third or a major third is because you have modes in your keys. Every key has a number associated with it. So if you count up, they go up to 7, I believe. Well, excuse me, I should say each note in a scale, there are 7 notes in a scale, which is why there's 7 steps on here, and each note has a number associated with it. Your root note is number 1, and your very last note, actually it's this one, in a C minor scale, would be 7. So there are 7 different notes in a scale. So if you look, let's just use the major scale for example. If we have a C here, and then you go up, this is 1, like I just mentioned, then you have 2 and 3, so it's the 3rd note up. And then again, 1, 2, 3, it's the 3rd note from it. You always count your first note as 1, so that's how you kind of get the thirds. And then they have major fifths, which is, so here's a major third, here's a major fifth. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all those are really kind of describing are the intervals between the notes. So think of it as the distance between each note. So again, 3rd, it covers a span of 3 notes. So you have 1, 2, 3. And that should pretty much do it for the music theory tutorial. This, I guess it was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I kind of threw in some extra information that I guess now I don't need to cover in a future tutorial. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, feel free to throw them down in the comments. But yeah, remember to comment, rate, subscribe. This has been a Digital VFX production, and thanks for watching.